Welcome, Nubi, to Metallarium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about this time, this new album, Heritage, and more things related, well, to the metal world in general. So, well, to start with a common question, how have you been during this? Well, during the last times, because a lot of things happened during the world, economic problems, pandemic, war in Europe, etc. So, how has the band during these 2 years? Because the last album, Aeons of Oblivion, was released in 2021.
Um, yeah, things have been good, but crazy for sure. Um, yeah, to be honest, like it's one roller coaster ride, but we are here and we made it. So yeah, I don't know. Like, where should I start? Like, we wrote Aeons of Oblivion in the pandemic time, like when COVID started, and like now there's a lot of crazy shit going on, but we wrote Heritage, so there we are.
Okay. So, well, Eons of Oblivion and the Heritage and Tyrannophia. Tyrannophia has 2 years of difference because 2029, your first album, second, 2021, and now Heritage. So perhaps this is a custom for you to release an album each 2 years.
Yes, basically yes.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
okay. On what are the main reasons to release an album each 2 years?
um I wouldn't say it was on purpose, but it just turned out like that. But I gotta say as well, these days, especially with internet, you're living in a fast world. um and to keep standing out and people will not forget you, I think like the time span needs to be shorter, like for releases. We like I said, we didn't aim for the 2 years on purpose. It's just how it turned out. But we also noticed, like, if it takes longer uh, than 2 years, it like the growth is gonna slow down.
Mm, okay. So do you perhaps into this aspect, do you think that when a band release continuously EPs, albums, because you have more than four EPs since 2005, 2021, so perhaps the music will be a little saturated or will a little decay of with creativity because a lot of reviewers said that when a band releases a lot of releases during in short times the music decay in a little creativity. So do you think like that, or perhaps you have other approach to see the music?
Mm, I I I understand what you mean, but at the same time, I mean, you can actually write the best track or riff in maybe even 1 minute, but you don't know when it's gonna happen, right? So we always have the mindset like when we have time, we write, and then we write a lot. And I mean, at the same time, maybe there can be already 3 or 4 albums ready, but you need to be confident as well. Like, is this what you want to make? Is this what you want to release? Not just make a song for the sake of releasing it. But I mean, if it's possible, it's it there. Like, why shouldn't you use it?
Mm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, well, one thing that it is here that has is that you enter with a big label like Century Media is because now it's Century Media is with Sony Entertainment. When everyone knows that. So, but at the beginning you start with Unique Leader Records. So, how was the transition to pass to, a medium label like Unique Leader Records? Is it with a big one like Century Media is, and how are your expectations about this new label?
It's actually going good. I'm really happy with it. Like, Unique Leader was really great. But it's just Jamie Graham. But he does like everything, and now you have to deal with a lot of people in Central Media. But I would say it's more structured, like organized.
Okay, okay. So I'm hearing well. What for you? What is the biggest difference that exists already from your previous record, Eons of Oblivion, with this heritage?
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
So the biggest difference that exists with this with your previous album.
Oh, the difference. I would say um this is the best of distance what we have yet to offer. I would say for this one, we still wanted to keep it heavy, but a more accessible approach to listen to the songs. And what I mean with that, it's the way how the songs are structured. For example, we used a lot of pop structures to create these songs. So what makes it heavy but catchy at the same time. And it's easier to listen to, because if you have Eons and Terranatopia, for example, I would say it's just more written in like A A B C. If you're lucky, you get A back, and then something at the end, and that's it. But this is more. There are like more choruses. We really thought about the process, like um, streamlining the song so it sounds like one fluent thing, but it doesn't uh, uh, go like you don't waste the heaviness. Like it's still heavy but catchy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, what is your opinion about the? Bueno, talking about the. You said that you have a progression for the last album, and you said that this new album is your best effort until to date. But according to some fans, some reviewers, said this or usually the first album or the first EP in your case are the best works to date. So, what is your opinion about the fans and reviewers said that the first albums are usually the greatest stones in the career of every band. And for you are the last album is the best ever. So how do you see this opinion in during in, well, into the career of Distant?
Um, I mean, people should like think whatever they think, um, because at the end, it's like cool. We have fans, and that they support us, and we are really grateful for that, of course. But at the end, like we want to do what we want to do, and we still want to grow as musicians. And I would say, for example, like for the first two albums, compared to this one, we made a lot of growth as musicians, also individual, like on bass, guitar, drums, even vocals. But I mean, I can understand why some people stick to the older material. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Like people should like what they would like, but that's not gonna change anything for us what we want to do.
Mhm. Okay. So well now now Distant is a band from Netherlands. A curious thing because your scene is well known to when talking about old school death metal, talking about Pestilence, Asphyx, Thanatos, and a huge stone like Sinister. So now what is your opinion about from the old stuff people like these bands with the music with Distant? Because little reactions around the world are talking about the deathcore are no you know the gatekeepers from the death metal no it's they have bad opinions about the deathcore scene now so what is your opinion how perhaps do you hear some opinions from the old musicians from the death metal scene in Netherlands with the music from for the music from Distant?
To be honest, like we're not paying real attention to it. I mean, there is still gatekeeping, and um, people are definitely not used to it. That there's like bigger deathcore act. I think some people in general don't want to accept it yet, but I mean, it's fine. Like in over time, I think they will turn around because I mean, you can gatekeep as long how you want, but there will be a time at a certain point you cannot walk around the bush anymore. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Well, interesting to see. And what's your opinion about now the fans that hate the deathcore scene? Say that these bands are more plastic, overproduced in the studio, this kind of stuff. Not really death metal.
Mm, to be honest, like I don't really think about it. Like if people, I mean, if people complain about it and they talk about us in that way, I know we're doing something right because if you have haters and they have the time in their day to make a fuss about it, about your band, and talk about it, I gotta say, like things are going great, man.
But yeah, that's true. That's true. So, talking about now, well, we are we are returning back in time when the music is spread by singles, like in the 40s and 50s. Now, this isn't common, according to well, we like Spotify, YouTube spread the music nowadays. So, what if we try to relate this aspect? Which song capture whole essence from this heritage for you?
Um, Sorry, could you define it?
Okay, which song from this new album capture whole essence from this?
I would say Heritage and Argent Justice. Argent Justice, it's so special because it had so many features on it from a lot of different bands. But Heritage at the same time, because it's the one thing we wanted to aim for. That's heavy but catchy at the same time.
Mhm. Okay, as I said in the first question, talking about from well, in general from the deathcore scene, I spoke a few weeks ago with with Suicide Silence. I spoke with
Oh,
Scott
cool.
from Carnifex too, and Scott from Carnifex told me that the deathcore scene is more like underground scene now around the world. No, it's not like death metal or black metal, a scene that has a potential or hard mainstream bands around the world. So, what is your opinion about now the deathcore scene? It's more like the underground scene, and we're into the extreme metal.
Um,
Or are you agree with this? Perhaps do you think the deathcore is more like mainstream side of the death metal, not like the death metal?
I think deathcore is becoming more mainstream. It will never get mainstream, but the thing is, like, there's a really uh, big hype going around deathcore now in general. It's almost like the 10-year cyclist, you know what I mean? Like when something gets old, it's getting new again. But what I notice is that's at the moment it's really hyped, and I think it's easier to get into deathcore these days because you have so many different bands that use so many subgenres. Because if I'm saying this correct, deathcore is basically a subgenre from death metal, right?
Yeah.
But uh, the all the bands that basically play deathcore, like especially the new bands, use many subgenres in it. So it's getting like more black metal or more slam, and which creates that the I don't know if I say it correct in English, but like the overlapping,
Okay. I
you
think
know
so.
what
I
I
think so.
mean?
Okay. Okay.
It's getting like really small. So you have like deathcore, but it has death metal, slam, like whatever you want to mention. But it's getting, it's drawn into it. It's getting closer. And I think that's why it's easier to step into deathcore these days, and that it's getting more popular because you have so many bands with so many different influences that people just can step into from their favorite band to just a deathcore band.
Mhm. Okay,
At
well,
least that's my opinion.
no, no, okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, in this aspect that you say that there's a lot of new bands entering to the deathcore new sounds because we for example, Brand of Sacrifice, Lord
Yes.
Nashor, mix black death metal, Almighty, I don't know, mental cruelty, mental cruelty mix black and death metal with deathcore with symphonic
Yeah.
rap, this kind of stuff. So perhaps in this aspect, are you perhaps do you think the deathcore scene is too saturated now because you said there's a lot of new bands coming each day, each month, each year. So now it's very difficult to get attention from the people and say that this band is more important than this band.
Um, that's sure a certain way to look at it, but at the same time, I gotta be honest, it's a really tough question because um, when you ask me this, like you should listen to the bands you want to listen to and not be afraid for other bands because it's not a competition. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I understood. I understood.
So that's why I think that that's really difficult. Yeah, sure, there are a lot of bands, but you should just, if you want to listen to a certain something, you just should look for that band that fits you and just listen to that band. And I mean, yeah, there are like hundreds or thousands of bands, but I mean, does it really matter? I wouldn't say so because even like in the pop culture, you have so many pop stars. Does it really matter? No, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Okay. Well, now, what's your opinion about now the artificial intelligence are more present into the music industry and in art in general? Because as you know, there is now a software developed for the when you put a little description in the box, and this software create arts for you. So now this same aspect for the artificial intelligence are very related with the music because now our drum machines, bass machines, keyboard machines. A lot of technology are involved with the music now. So what is your opinion about now the music in bueno, the artificial intelligence is more present into the music or into the art in general? And how do you see the future of the music industry with these new forms of to create music with artificial intelligence?
Mm, I gotta say, man, you have some really good questions. um, at the same time, it sucks, but it's great at the same time. Because of the internet, we've come already as far as now we are. Um, if we didn't have internet, there wasn't that possibility. The same like for all those streaming platforms. I mean, basically, it doesn't pay shit, right? But to get your name out there, it sure is handy. But I gotta say, like, I got a like pretty old school mind. I'm just like, yes, it's important, and you should also like run advertisements because it sure shows results. But I still have the mind like just get in that van and tour and see what happens. But what does it mean for the music industry and art? Um, I think at a certain point, I mean, it's already hard, but it will still get harder to earn some money from it. And what does it hold into the future? Man, I cannot say because you don't know. No one can really know.
Yeah,
Unless you've invented the system, then you know what's up, what's gonna happen. because there should be a kind of certain system that people worked out. But yeah, I cannot say. But it's this. But I mean, like it's the same with some kind of bands, right? For example, when you have Lorna Shore, yes, I get it. They have Will, and Will sounds amazing. But if you compare the work from the other albums, all right, this album, the last album they dropped, like it's one of the best. But what are they doing differently than they did before? You know what I mean? It's sometimes it's feel like someone just pushes a button and then it just went through.
Hmm. Okay,
Do do
okay.
do do do, do you share that opinion, or like what's your take into that?
Oh, talking about the artificial intelligence. When I'm in the old way, so I prefer to do. Well, no, I prefer to do. I prefer to hear music doing by musicians. No, I don't really like the music doing by artificial intelligence. But who knows? Now a lot of well, a lot of as I said, a lot of drum machines are now involved with the stream music in general, and I curious thing with this aspect. A lot of drummers around the world wants to play like a machine, so blast beats more than 300 speeds.
Yeah.
So that's a curious thing. So there are software to play like a machine, but now the human wants to play like a machine. So that's so very curious. Well, so we're very close to this interview, Nubi. And for that, what are the future plans that the band has for this new album? Perhaps you will have perhaps a European tour, more beat-ups upcoming, or North American tour, or perhaps who knows in a near future a Latin American tour. Who knows?
Well, in March we go to the US, playing a tour there with Body Snatcher, Pillface, Angel Maker, really great bands. Then in May, it's not announced yet. We're gonna announce it actually on Thursday. We have our own European headline tour for the album, of course. And then we got some more tours coming on this year, which I cannot announce yet.
Okay.
But the idea with this album and the release is to tour as much as possible that we can, for sure, to spread our music.
Yeah. And well, one thing that you said in the first question, now relating to this, now when you will you go or embark on a new tour, as you said in March, and other tours are in Europe. So will you promote both albums? Because Eons of Oblivion was released during the last during the last year of the pandemic. Now you are new album, new EP, so a lot of new music to promote, much better than the 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, we're probably gonna play as much as possible from the new record, of course. But we already had in mind, also for the people who like the older albums, to play like 2 songs from every old album. So like 2 from Terranatopia and 2 from Aeons of Oblivion and the rest of the new album.
Hmm. Okay. So, well, Nubi, the sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one like me doing this one. Congratulations for the new album. It's a great one. Perhaps do you want to add something to your Latin American fans and Metallium followers?
I would say, like, if you support us, thank you very much. You should definitely stream or buy the album. That will make us really happy. And I mean, yeah, I really appreciate it. Like, if people will check us out. I mean, from the 24 hours you have on a day and you spend a few minutes to listen to our music, I'm really thankful for that.
Great.